In today's video, we will take out the fender for 2024 Chevy Malibu. First, we will lift up the parking brake, then we will lift up the car. I am using a four-wheeler jack to lift up the car, so I don't really need to pull up the handbrake. But if you're using the regular jack that comes with the car, you must lift up the parking brake, otherwise the car will fall apart. If you haven't already, please consider liking this video and subscribing to our channel. Now, let's jump into the process. In my case, I have taken out the tire completely to make the process simple, but in your case, you do not have to take out the tire. You can just turn the tire right or left. We'll start off with the mudguard side and notice this car has an accident, so there is no screw there. But I took a picture from a different side and I saw there's one screw that you need to take out using a Torx 15 bit or screwdriver. In your case, make sure you take out this screw using a Torx 15 bit. Once you have taken out the screw, notice behind this fender liner there are some screws that needs to be taken out. Two 10mm screws that needs to be taken out. Here I'm using a ratchet wrench along with a 10mm socket to take them out. You'll try to push the fender liner a little bit further and notice there is one washer type screw that needs to be taken out. Just treat it like a screw and turn it anti-clockwise to take it out completely. Once taken out, now we will pull the cover outwards completely and notice there is another 10mm screw that also needs to be taken out. Here I am using a gun, but you can just use a ratchet with an extension to take this out. Remember, it's a 10mm screw. Now we will move a little on top and notice there is another Torx 15 screw that I will be taking out using a Torx 15 screwdriver. Screw is out. Now we will pull out the fender liner up until the very end. Notice this side has an accident, so I'm not able to demonstrate the process, but there is not much to do here. It's just this fender liner you need to push further and then you need to take out these two screws. Now the following process you will see is actually from the other side that I took out, but the process exactly remains the same. Copy this step and you should be fine. To make the process a little simple, I'll use a Torx 15 screwdriver to take out these screws going forward. Two screws out. We'll take out the third one, which is a little upwards. Now we will try to pull out the fender liner up until the middle of the fender or to the point where we have enough room. Inside the fender, notice there is one hidden screw that we need to take out. We'll be taking it out using a 7mm wrench. Just fast forwarding the process because I do not want to waste your time, but do know it does take a while to take these screws out. There we got the screw taken out. Now we slightly pull the bumper from the edge, and with that we are done with this side. Now we also need to take out this bumper bracket. They all are 7mm screws. Here I am using a gun with a 7mm socket, but you can also use a round head ratchet with a 7mm socket. Once the bumper bracket is out, notice there are two 10mm screws that also needs to be taken out. Here I'm coming back to the damaged side and I'm taking out those two 10mm screws. Both screws out. Now we are done with this side as well. Next step, notice the side connecting the door with the fender. There is one screw that also needs to be taken out. Make sure to use an extension along with the ratchet and the socket. Now we will open the hood and jump onto the top part. We'll take out one 7mm screw connecting with the tab of the headlight. Then take out a 10mm screw which is right besides, followed by taking out another 10mm screw which is right besides the windshield, hidden under the cover. And then right where the windshield is, we need to remove this cover, and behind the cover there is a Torx 30 screw that also needs to be taken out. Here I am using a small ratchet with a Torx 30 bit. That screw is also out. Notice the side connecting the fender with the top bumper piece. Behind this, there's a screw that also needs to be taken out. There's that screw right there connecting the fender with the bumper. It is a 10 mm screw, so I will be using a 10 mm wrench to take it out. And again, this screw took me a little while to take out because it's a longer screw. This is the longest screw in this entire takeout process. Make sure to also lift up the tab of the headlight because it's holding onto the fender. In my case, the tab was broken. That's why I'm just lifting it up completely. In your case, you may have the headlight in a good condition. So you just lift up the tab and then take out the fender. Now slightly pull the bumper from the top part. And here I'm using a clip remover tool to pull the bumper against the fender. With that side is free. Now in the middle of the fender, it is attached with some sort of glue and we have to heat this up in order for the fender to come out. The same heating process also applies at the very edge of the fender right besides the windshield. Would recommend heating both sides for at least 15 to 20 seconds. Once the heating part is done, now we will slightly pull the fender from the edge. Notice the fender coming out, then try to pull out the fender from the middle. And there we ended up taking out the fender completely. If this video helps you in any way, please consider liking this video and subscribing to our channel. Here are the list of tools used for this takeout.